Did you know there's a federal program that kills more than 2 million animals a year? Welcome to our show. I'm Erin Condit. The program is called ADC, or Animal Damage Control. Mostly it protects livestock from predators. Critics call it Uncle Sam's undeclared war on wildlife, a slaughter financed by your tax dollars. But here in Montana, farmers and ranchers call it a godsend. 74-year-old Teddy Thompson may be the last of his kind in these mountains north of Yellowstone Park. The rancher has been driving his sheep up here since he was a boy. Then there were dozens of flocks. Now there is one. The reason is clearly posted. This is bear country.
We don't have any trouble with black bear because we're allowed to take care of them if they bother. You know,
we can kill them.
We can kill them legally in this state, but we can't do that with grizzlies.
If Teddy hurts a grizzly while defending his flock, he'll face fines and possible jail time for violating the Endangered Species Act. So when bears are a problem, he calls ADC, the Animal Damage Control Program of the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
And see, it sat on my hood, too.
An old grizzly ransacked Teddy's base camp looking for food.
I'll show you what he did to the camper. Just pulled it off.
Pulled it off and bent it like that. Oh, look at this. He just tore it. Tore his...
You see this?
Oh, my God.
If he stood straight up on his feet, he's probably stand up 7, 8 feet tall.
Jim Hoover is a trapper and district supervisor for ADC in Montana. How many bears like this are walking around these parts?
Well, to me, there's plenty of them. All there needs to be.
Started in the 1930s, ADC now spends $36 million a year of federal taxpayer money to control, and that can mean kill, millions of wild animals and birds that threaten anyone's income or safety. But mostly it protects farmers and ranchers like Teddy, who claim wildlife causes almost $500 million worth of damage a year.
I was a damn good killer.
Dick Randall is a former ADC trapper for Wyoming and a photographer who documented his trade.
One reason I took a lot of pictures that Fish and Wildlife certainly didn't want was to let the public know where their dollars were being spent. As long as it's their bucks, why not show people?
Now a consultant with the Humane Society of the United States, Randall says ADC kills too many animals.
And I finally decided what I was doing was no good. Been going on for so darn many years, and all it is destruction of an animal, and it's never worked.
He says of all the legal ways to kill, denning is one of the worst. Coyote pups are destroyed before they get old enough to prey on livestock by setting their burrows on fire.
People should realize how many years this has been going on, and what have we accomplished? Well, a lot of dead stuff. That was used mostly for, wolves, mountain lions. Looks pretty cruel, and it was.
Randall says traps are also bad. He took us into Wyoming's Red Desert to demonstrate.
Watch out for your eyes.
Oh.
But I'll tell you, that's got one hell of a grip. When this goes off and gets against the leg, why, it's either broken the bone or it's certainly damaged the leg.
He's planted hundreds of them, snap jaws, leg hold snares, and cyanide devices. Since most animals are attracted to the bait, traps kill indiscriminately. Left unchecked, predators like this bear slowly starve to death.
You catch so many non-target species. It's just unbelievable. We kill lots of golden eagles in traps and with poison. And of course, we didn't report that.
We certainly have had some abuses in the past, but I think that's the exception rather than the rule.
Bobby Acord is head of ADC in Washington. You've been called the most rogue agency in federal government. True?
No. We absolutely insist that our employees comply with not only all federal laws, but all state laws and regulations as well.
There have been documented abuses, though.
I think the documented abuses that have happened, we have acted appropriately and taken action against any employee that has violated any of those laws.
Acord says he's trying to clean up ADC's image by hiring better people and touting his program's less controversial methods. In this public relations video, ADC removes geese from golf courses, seagulls from airports, predators from bird sanctuaries, and mountain lions and coyotes from city streets. Nonetheless, more than half of the federal tax dollars spent in the field protect farmers and ranchers from wildlife.
I don't know why we need to be subsidizing with our tax dollars.
Tom Skeel heads Predator Project, a nonprofit group that wants Congress to cut ADC out of the federal budget. From his small offices in Bozeman, Montana, Skeel garners big attention with ads like this.
Do we want to be investing in the wholesale or the widespread killing of predators?
Skeel thinks not. Since wildlife legally belongs to the states in which they live, he believes predator control should be funded at that level.
In my opinion, right now, the Animal Damage Control Program is a 64-year-old experiment. And I say experiment because it's tried to do something. It has tried to minimize the amount of livestock losses due to predation by coyotes, black bear, mountain lion, foxes, whatever. 64 years later, those numbers are still really high. The losses are still really high, and the amount of animals they have to kill every year to try to get those losses down are still really high. So in my mind, this particular approach hasn't worked all that well.
The coyote is a case in point. Once bigger competing predators like the wolves were eliminated, the coyote moved into their territories and spread across the country. These highly adaptable predators are now the #1 scourge of the West and ADC's main target.
Damn coyotes. ¿Tú sabes la coyote aquí?
Bill Tolliver is a third-generation Wyoming rancher who just learned a coyote killed one of his baby goats.
And so there's a lot of conflict out there, and it's basically all around the coyote. It's just crazy how we're letting these populations boom and no one's controlling them. Everybody's thinking that it's just going to be natural.
I don't know, it looks like effective but dangerous predator control to me. I wouldn't trust this thing.
Don't think you'd like it, huh?
No.
ADC kills around 100,000 coyotes a year, but Tolliver complains it's not enough. So using an ultralight, a shotgun, and a few gallons of gas, he prowls the desert, looking to kill a few more.
Okay, clear the prop. It wastes a lot of time, yeah. But you have to do it, and it's sad.
Tolliver says many ranchers have taken matters into their own hands, some resorting to legal and illegal poisons to do the job.
I mean, these are public animals. These are not my animals. These are public animals taking my private property.
If the wildlife is a state product, and that makes the predators a state product, then why should the federal government be involved in predator control anyway?
I have no idea, and I wonder about the same question.
But at least Teddy Thompson knows it'll all end where it began, thanks to a new non-lethal ADC program. For the past 3 years, he's been using guard dogs to defend his sheep.
You couldn't get along without them. Really, the guard dogs make it a lot simpler because we don't have to put up with having to worry about getting the right bear and so on and so forth. So the traditional method was pretty much hit and miss. You'd get a bunch of sheep dead somewhere, and then you'd sit around and you'd shoot the first thing that came along, whether it was right or wrong.
As the old ways of the West make way for the new, conservation groups like Predator Project and the Humane Society are keeping the pressure on ADC to change its ways. But as long as livestock and wildlife share the same ground, the debate over how to keep them apart will continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.